It was a warm spring afternoon on a quiet college campus, where the air should have been filled with the sounds of students rushing to class and the gentle rustle of leaves. Instead, the atmosphere was thick with the acrid scent of tear gas and the deafening echoes of 67 gunshots that would change America forever. On May 4th, 1970, at Kent State University in Ohio, the line between protest and tragedy was crossed in 13 seconds of chaos. This wasn't a battlefield in a foreign land, but a grassy common in the heart of the Midwest, where unarmed students found themselves staring down the barrels of loaded rifles held by their own countrymen. Before we dive deeper into this harrowing chapter of history, remember to comment, like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss future episodes of the Calendar of Crime. Your support helps us keep these important stories alive and ensures you're always notified when a new date in history is uncovered. The tension had been building for days. On April 30th, President Richard Nixon announced the Cambodian incursion, an expansion of the Vietnam War that felt like a betrayal to a generation already weary of the draft and the mounting body count. At Kent State, the reaction was immediate. What started as a peaceful demonstration on Friday grew into a weekend of unrest, culminating in the burning of the campus ROTC building. By Monday morning, the Ohio National Guard had occupied the campus, transforming a place of learning into a military zone. At noon, nearly 3,000 people gathered on the commons. Some were there to protest the Guard's presence. Others were simply walking to their next class. The Guard ordered the crowd to disperse, but the students stood their ground, some throwing stones and shouting slogans. The troops began to advance, firing tear gas canisters that were tossed back by the demonstrators. The standoff moved up Blanket Hill and toward a parking lot, a confusing dance of retreat and pursuit that seemed, for a moment, to be de-escalating. Then, at 12:24 p.m., as Troop G of the 107th Armored Cavalry reached the crest of the hill, 28 guardsmen suddenly turned and opened fire. They didn't fire into the air or at the ground. They fired into the crowd. For 13 seconds, the air was filled with lead. When the smoke cleared, 4 students lay dead: Allison Krauss, Jeffrey Miller, Sandra Scheuer, and William Schroeder. 9 others were wounded, including Dean Kaler, who would be paralyzed for life. 2 of the victims weren't even part of the protest. They were simply caught in the crossfire while walking to class. The aftermath was a seismic shock to the American psyche. The image of Marianne Vecchio screaming over Jeffrey Miller's body became the haunting face of a divided nation. In the days that followed, a massive student strike involving 4 million people shut down hundreds of campuses across the country. The Kent State shootings didn't just end 4 young lives. They shattered the illusion of safety at home and intensified the bitter debate over the Vietnam War. Decades later, the question remains: how did a protest in Ohio turn into a massacre? And what does it say about the price of dissent? Thanks for watching. Please comment, share, like, and subscribe for future episodes from the Calendar of Crime.